What a day today, GME and GME land. We saw a massive price movement, and it is very exciting. Justin's going to kind of talk about what the future upholds.
Yeah, I have no clue, but this is my best guess. Here's my thinking. The way I think about how these trends work is I try to think from the psychological angle of it because I'm not good enough to be a technical analysis, predict price, any of that nonsense. But here's what I'm particularly curious for. Right now, retail's feeling really good. And I suspect the short guys do not want that to happen, particularly if retail starts feeling comfortable with options and starts trying to play options and win by playing options. So one of the things that I kind of mentioned, I think, in the live stream last night is that if I was one of the bad guys, I would want to find some way to break retail psychology, especially after they felt like they had a win, and do so in a way where I could hopefully dissuade them or turn them off from using options. Because what I think that they don't want to have happen is that if retail figures out like a weekly trend where if they could just rally around some strike price and get the price of the stock, GME, whatever, right, to close at a price, then you kind of have this, I don't want to say it's an infinite money glitch, but you have a way to generate capital. Anyways, just a quickie tonight, I wanted to say that today was a good day. I think I'm hoping tomorrow's going to be a good day, but if Wednesday or Thursday we see your consolidation or a retest, I wouldn't be too concerned at all because, quite frankly, I'm looking for a attractive entry point. So just want to throw that out there and to let people know, prepare yourself mentally or whatever, right? Because today was great. Tomorrow hopefully will be good too. But also understand, the games that will be tried to be played with price and with your psychology. So don't fall victim to it, but just mentally prepare yourself.
Yeah, something that I thought was very, very bullish today was all meme stocks were running. We saw AMC, GME, COS, BBBY, even the company that AMC bought. And this is going to put massive amounts of pressure onto these shorts because they're basically the way I described it. If you walk into a mall, throw a rock at a building, they're shorted. So all these stocks running, they're short all of them, and that is putting massive dampers onto their portfolios. So if there was a margin call, say back 3 weeks ago during the February cycle, and we are just now starting to see the early signs of that, people that their banks could be saying, hey dude, you need a bump up, you need to bump up some cash a little. So they're starting to have to force close some of their positions. That is very good news. When will we see a announcement of a margin call? That will only be once it is too late to buy in. We don't know what's going to happen, but this can stay under the rug for much longer than people imagine just because it is a catastrophic event and everybody's going to be on the hook.
Two things to add to that. I'm glad to see that the borrow rates, that is the available shares to lend out, remain low and the borrow rates remain high. That I think is very bullish. And the second thing I'll add is this too. I don't know if there's been a margin call, but I do suspect there's been, I will use the word margin events behind the scenes. Because I think the system desperately doesn't want there to be a margin call because they know it's an existential threat to itself. But I will note this, that again, hat tip to PyFi on this, that, okay, great. Let's say GME runs up to 250 or whatever, right? Hooray or whatever, right? I suspect the guys that are short theoretically put strain on their margin unless they have something to counter it. And if, let's say, they're long volatility, then they might have a way, okay, well, yeah, we owe more in the shorts over here, but we have, more gains over here, so it doesn't really necessarily, it nets out, so it's not affect on a margin. But it's only going to work up to a point. And this is where you get to the FOMO thing. And this is why I say it's so important for them to manage the psychology of the situation. Because if retail keeps feeling or keeps seeing wins and keeps feeling good about it, you're just going to have an increase and probably I can't say exponential. You're going to have an increase and an increase and an increase. And that in itself might be enough to otherwise blow up and distort this finely tuned mechanism that the shorts use to archive and warehouse their short interest. And at the same time, keep the can kicking down the road, cover their cost, etc., and manage their margin.
Something that I'm really looking at is what happens with XRT. Is their short interest going to go down? Will they get off right show? If that's the case, then we could just be seeing some sort of run up followed by a rug pull. So that is what I would really keep my eyes out for, is what happens with XRT. If they get off reg show, that is a very bad news. But I don't know what's going to happen because we are not fortune tellers. We are just dumb rubletons that we just like the stock, dude.
Absolutely. And the last thing in closing, I just want to put this in through here. Like, guys, if you're watching this, just understand that if you're a bad guy trying to manage the market, you manage the market by managing the psychology. So just as you're feeling good right now, expect an attack vector to come along those lines. And don't think of it as, oh my goodness, I'm down or whatever. Just think of it as, oh, that's a great time to buy more. What an attractive sale.
Exactly. So guys, I'm sure you were just fuming with energy throughout the day, as were we. Trust me. So without further ado, we will see you on the next one.